Welcome back to the Voice of Metal, where we talk about all things metal, or I should say the voices of metal, because really that's what it's all about, folks. It's about the people in metal music, and actually, to tell you the truth, we should talk about the fans too, along with that sometimes, because I think maybe sometimes if I get into a live um, concert, so that way sorry about that. A live concert where we could talk to different people in the audience for their favorite bands. Hopefully, later on down the road, if I get enough subscribers and enough watch, I think it's just subscribers for basically what it boils down to be able to have a live stream from my phone or other mobile device. So, unless I get a laptop for that, which I don't have right now. So, hopefully that will happen later on. Tonight I'm going to be talking a little bit about different things. I had another topic in mind earlier, but I thought this article was really cool because it's about Max Cavalera, and this is on Loudwire, so you know. So if you guys get a chance, you guys can check it out yourselves. Basically, Max's favorite song isn't what you assume that it is, but he thinks that his 1996 "Eye for an Eye" was one of the best songs that they have done. And I agree with that. I think it's really good because he said a lot of it pays some kind of is, how would you say, taken from or inspired by some of Metallica's Blackened album. There's the song, yeah, Blackened. Sorry, the song. Anyway, I like how it says Blackened, but it doesn't say album. But I think it's the album Blackened. No, it's the song, because there's no, the Black album is the one that had, you know, those certain songs like Enter Sandman and all this other stuff, and that's also the one. One of my friends that I know has had didn't quite like, which I can understand. I totally get. Sorry, I'm trying to check something here. See, I'm still not getting enough video for my stream, and I don't know why. So I'm not sure if there's something that I can do to make this a little bit better for live stream. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about before, he said that basically that he that's like a prototype of a death thrash song. It's perfect. He said there's nothing you can do to add to make it better than what it already is, and if you take something out, it's going to be totally lost. So in other words, he thinks that it's perfect just the way it is. So I think I remember I've listened to it before. I'm pretty sure, and it sounded really good. There's also like Above the Rise and all that, which I love quite a bit. I think it's a really, really great song. Um, what's rather interesting is he just thinks this is an awesome song, right? Anyway, I'm gonna move on to my next topic of the night. Um, because there wasn't a whole lot in the article about his favorite song. Unfortunately, but it is what it is, right? Um, the best thrash albums for each year since 1983, which is kind of cool because we're going back before 92, where I was talking about last week, or I should say weekend, about different songs that were very popular back in 92, possibly for proms or whatever. Not saying that the schools ever used them, because most schools never probably listened to played too many metal band songs. I do know that from what my son has told me with his experience with his school, they play a little bit nicer toned music, not the popular music the kids listen to right now. It could be because of the lyrics, maybe. Some metal songs were never they were bad, but they weren't that bad. And they usually had radio edits to where they weren't quite so, how do you say, subjective with certain topics and this, that, and the other. So it's rather interesting. I already have one view. Is my viewer here? My normal viewers that are here. Anyway, let's go on to the first album. In 1983, of course, we should all expect the one all-time thrash metal song of like all time, Kill 'Em All, right? Because really, I mean, we all loved and enjoyed that album, I'm sure. Recent, when I first heard Metallica for the very first time myself, it was from the Injustice for All because my one family member, a step sister of mine, actually had the album with her, and she said there's no other band but Metallica, right? And here I said, okay, what's so great about Metallica? This is when I was kind of going to the pop slash kind of semi heavy hair bandish type phase. Um, and really, quite frankly, I didn't think I would like it, and I did. I fell absolutely in love with it. I think "Injustice for All," the song itself, was phenomenal, and it's one of those things that it kind of grows on you, kind of like other songs. So I believe that is a very important thing here. Sorry, I'm moving stuff around on my screen here so I can see if I got viewers to listen or to talk. Oh, I got 3 views, 1 concurrent viewer. I have a feeling my concurrent viewer is my favorite one of all time and my very first. And so far she's been here on every single one, Clover. So if you're there, Clover, say hello. If it's not you, then I guess I don't know if there's a way of finding out who's in the room, unfortunately. But that's okay. I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. And hopefully you guys can see it and hear it because I noticed the stream is not doing so well. Okay, moving on to the next song that's on here is the 1983 Metallica's Kill 'Em All. Me personally, I definitely like this. I believe that Trapped Under Ice is on that one besides Ride the Lightning. And there's quite a few other songs that are really phenomenal in that album. It's definitely one, if you've never listened to it, you need to listen to it. Especially those who like the pop kind of Primus type stuff. Wink, wink, Clover, and others like her that may not be into the super heavy metal stuff out there, which really, quite frankly, if you get into not quite so heavy songs at first and you kind of ease your way into it, it's like getting into a tub of hot water. You just you got to ease yourself into it a little bit, and then you kind of start to develop a taste for it, kind of like hot sauce. That's the way I see it, because hot sauce is one of my favorite things to eat. Like salsa and all this other stuff. And I never thought I would ever eat salsa, and I ate some of the hottest stuff out there. So it's kind of crazy. Anyway, let's move on to the next song from 84, to 85, Exodus, Bonded by Blood. I have heard quite a few songs off of this album, and I will say Exodus has got some really good stuff on there. I don't remember the songs on it, but I do remember seeing the cover when I've listened to the song, which reminds me, I also have had some new expanded horizons and bands. Whether they're old or new, I'm not certain because I just heard it for the first time. So I guess I lost my viewer. Anyway, I guess maybe that's not the person. I don't know. Who knows? And I got a like already. Wow. I mean, not even done yet. I have a feeling that maybe the stream's not doing so well. So maybe it's not working. So I don't know how to stop this later on, maybe after 15 minutes and then restart the stream. Because I think this is going to take a little longer than 15 to 20 minutes for this. And with all the technical issues I've been having with the stream. So hopefully we'll get things rolling here. But yeah, they had some really, really great, interesting songs on that album. I believe that that's one of those ones that I I shouldn't say recently. I've heard of Exodus. I've heard some of their songs before in the past, but I was never like a huge listener of Exodus before until recently, within the last couple of years. So yeah, and so it's great. Oh, there's my computer back. Hello, I thought so. Oh, you know it. How's it going? Thanks for stopping in. I figured somebody else might stop in too. Hopefully the stream's not too laggy because it's saying that it is. Um, the next one in the thing after. Oh wait a minute! I almost missed the one of the other best albums ever, and of course it's another Metallica album in '86. Master of Puppets. Oh, by far, like really good. Me, these are not in a particular order, so you know they're just by year. They're not the most which one's more popular than the other ones. So me personally, I think Master of Puppets is like one of the Red Lightning. Well, I guess okay, all three of them are really good, but there's some things in Master of Puppets I love more than I do some of the other ones. But you know how it is. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Thank you for telling me, and hopefully the microphone sounds really good. I was kind of tweaking it a little bit, so I might have screwed it up. So we'll see what happens, right? Um, you know, who's to say? Who's to argue with that, right? You know, as far as one of the top song albums, I would assume of that year. Um, kind of like some others. Oh, I got two viewers, so I wonder if it's my other favorite person there that comes in and checks in on me. Um, 1987 was Testament, The Legacy. I don't know. I know I've heard some Testament songs, but I don't know I've heard any songs off that album. I know I've heard some from another one of their albums, and I don't remember the name of the album, unfortunately, off the top of my head. I can see the picture. It's like the person that looks kind of yellow, like a statue with their arms hanging. You know, they're like out, like they're, you know, like it kind of reminds you of the Titanic, where it says "I'm on top of the world." And there's, you know, they're over the bow kind of thing. That's kind of what the album cover has on it. That I do remember, but other than that, I can't remember. Um. Anyway, let's see what is next. We got 1988 Slayer, South of Haven. Oh, sorry, Heaven, South of Heaven, which is kind of an interesting title, especially with Slayer, because you don't think Slayer with Heaven. It kind of reminds me of Lamb of God. You know, when you're thinking of Lamb of God, you're thinking, oh, and by the way, just so you know, I think their original name for Lamb of God was called, from what I heard on the radio, no, it's a exit. Oh, Liquid Metal was talking about this, where they were saying it was Kill the Priest, I think is what it was originally called, the band. And then they end up changing it later on. Well, hello. We got 6 people. Yeah, right. Ex Machinima. Oh, yeah, there you go. Exactly, right? Yep. I think I know what you're talking about. You might want to explain a little more. I think I know what you mean. Anyway, um, yeah, it's one of those things. It's not one of those. I haven't watched much of the Machinima. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I've seen some animes before too, so I'm not real versed in that, unfortunately. I know a few things like the Queen's Blade, which is really cool. That's one of my favorite ones, even though, you know, it's more nudity and stuff like that, which I like that kind of stuff. It's kind of, you know, kind of crazy. Anyway, sorry. Pardon my coughing there. 1989, Sepultura, Beneath the Remains, of course, which actually that was a little bit later. It came out later than the others, which I didn't know that because I wasn't sure when it was released originally. And that's the show that I got to see that they actually, Max and Igor came into a live, I say, you know, theater tour and basically played every single song off that album. And it was absolutely wonderful. I guess I lost a viewer. Anyway, who's to say? Maybe I was boring them to death anyway. But you know, the one thing I liked about that is like above their eyes, the song, oh, beneath the remains, above their eyes was the first one. Sorry, that was not the one I saw. So I guess that comes later. I don't know what year that came out. I'll have to look that up because I don't recall. But beneath the remains, I think that's the one they were talking about. They were doing a remake or a how I say, hashing out, re-recording and remastered. I believe because I think or is that another one? I think it was another one. Never mind. Forget that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I never know what I'm talking about. I just wing this stuff, you know. Anyway, 1990, Megadeth's Rust in Peace, which is actually a really good one. I like that album a lot. I didn't hear all the stuff. Oh, now I got my question answered. Um, you know what? That's okay. Above the Rise. Wait a minute. Anyway, Rest in Peace is really good. They got quite a few good albums on there. It kind of reminds me of some of the Peace Sales and Who's Buying. I don't think that was actually on that one, to be honest. I don't know that one. Sure. See, if I say I know something, then somebody's going to correct me. Like that one oopsie that I did with my little video short that I did about new bands. But anyway, so you know, I kind of worded that wrong. It wasn't quite right for me. They are really new. To somebody else, they've been around for 20 years, which to me, it's like they're still fairly new. I think if you're from 2000 before, you're really old. You I guess you could say they're new, but not super new to me. How about that? Or to others? Who knows? Anyway, welcome back to whoever left and came back. If they did, I don't know. 1991, Sepultura's Arise. I think, really, quite frankly, that is the one. It's above the horizon that I was thinking of, and I think that is one of the songs off the album. But I guess originally it's called Arise. I guess because I was thinking I saw the shirt and I had the album cover on the shirt and it says above the horizon, the Cavalera. It doesn't say Sepultura. It has Cavalera on it because they originally did it. The Cavalera brothers, Max and Igor, which I think is phenomenal. I am a huge fan of Max and Igor Cavalera, and I can't wait for the remastered version of the EP and all this other stuff that they have coming out here after a while. And I think a lot of people actually watched that episode of mine talking about that because you know I think we're all kind of psyched about that. I'm sure you know it definitely is, and whoever else is here, I would assume, if you're a fan of Sepultura, Max, and Igor. And plus, I need to get on to some other people, but it seems like most of the bigger bands are being, how you say, talked about on live, on news things, articles, and things like that. So I kind of got to go with what that's out there right now because I'm not, how you say, well connected in the music industry right now. But eventually, maybe later on down the road, we'll see. Um, Oh, I know. I know. We all make mistakes for sure, right? But hey, that's where you learn. That's where you find out stuff. Who knows? Like somebody that did that, I appreciate them for doing that because that does mean a lot to me. That way, at least I know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay, that's what it is. 20 years? Really? Okay. But anyway, it's kind of like Slipknot's been around almost as long as they have, I think, because I think they started around in 2002, or it was. I know it was before my son was born, around the time my son. No, take that back. It was around 2000 or 1999, because I believe I was where I was working at. The gentleman at where I worked at, my coworker was telling me about them, and he said you got to check these guys out because they're phenomenal. And they were, and I took his, I say, a leap of faith into another album that completely changed my whole view of what I listened to, I guess you could say, um, because he thought I would like it because of all the stuff that I've watched, right? Or listened to, and I've talked about it and this, that, and there with him. Okay, now this one I definitely do not have any clue at all, and it's been 1992 Demolition Hammer, Epidemic of Violence. Now there's a new album for me to discover, and I don't know why I've never heard of these people. There's a lot of bands out there that some people do not know. And it looks like I got another one coming up here too. So I don't have a lot to say about the album because I never have heard it. So I might have to listen to it and then critique it maybe and find out what I like or what I don't like about it. So if it made the list on Loudwire for one of the best thrash metal albums for that year, it has to be really good, right? So we'll see. 92 Demolition Hammer, Epidemic of Violence. I have not heard this one either. See, it's like I said, if it wasn't on the radio, I probably didn't hear it. So there's probably quite a few of these on here. Coriander, I think that's how you say their name. Coriander Grins, 93. See, 1993. That one I've never heard. Oh, this is, well, that's showing, oh, that's, never mind. That's the next album cover. So I'll have to check out those two albums. I'll have to write those out. And I'll try to make sure I put a playlist for those on here after I'm done, so that way you guys can actually listen to some of these albums. So that way you can say agree or disagree. Well, actually, it's not so much that they're one's better than the other. It's more like just the years. Okay, 1994 was Testament Low. I don't think I've heard this one either, but I know I have heard some Testament albums before. 95 is Tankard. The Tankard. Okay. Don't ask me. It's kind of a weird name for our title for the album because it's the band's name, but The Tankard. Go figure. Okay. But I'm not going to judge them on that. 96, Overkill, The Killing Kind. Overkill, I definitely love a lot of their music. I don't think I've heard this album yet, so I'm gonna have to check that one out too. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff out there that I haven't heard, so I'm kind of a expanding my horizon, virgin kind of album person, I guess you could say, because there's so many different albums out there. It's like, and sometimes you kind of get playing the same ones over and over again. And also, I would discover some new stuff, so I need to do that. So I am definitely not well versed in a lot of different albums, so unfortunately. 1997 is Deceased, Fearless of the Undead Machines. Okay, there's another one I've never heard of, and I'm sure a lot of people will say, here you are doing the voice of metal and you don't know all these songs. Well, guess what? I want to know more. That's part of the reason why. Plus, I'm also going to help all those out there that don't know either, like myself. So I'm growing with the audience too, along with the people that might already know this stuff. So if you do know some of these albums, please give us your feedback on the comments below. I would love to hear about them. Tell me what you like about each one of those albums for each year. I think that'd be awesome. Now, Whiplash, I have definitely heard of. I don't know. I might have heard some out. I think I might have heard some of the songs on this album, but I'm not certain. It's called Thrashback in 1998. So that was pretty early on. That was almost getting closer to the time where certain bands that I screwed up on Gojira that came about, right? It's almost there. 1999, The Gathering from Testament. Now, this one I know I've heard. I think they have a different album cover for this one, which I think is the one I was talking about earlier, because the title of the album sounds familiar to me. And they do have some really good music on there. I'm not going to get into names or anything like that because I'm already on 24 minutes. So, and thank you for You Know It. I appreciate it on the autocorrect. If you want to make any more comments, man, just go right ahead. Feel free to jump in there. It's kind of hard to see because I got glare on my screen, unfortunately, down here. Let's see. What was the other one? Okay, we are on 2000. Oh, Deceased. Okay, this one I've never heard of Deceased. Oh, and I like the album cover. It's a creepy like old man. It looks like he's got a spell book and he's got like a fireplace with like ghostly spirit fire kind of go in the background with a couple skull bookends. And it looks like I can't tell what that is. It looks almost like a credible female She-Hulk or something. And Edgar Allan Poe in the picture, and then I think it's a hand holding a candle for light so he can read his book of spells, right? It's kind of cool. It's different. Um, it's basically 2000 DC deceased supernatural addiction. You know, deceased reminds me of somebody I know very well. Well, I should say I think I know very well. She thinks otherwise. I don't know her at all. And I shouldn't be jumping to conclusions on stuff. And where would I come up with such a absurd, how you say, um, idea about stuff? I don't know. There were some few things that kind of hinted a certain way, but I'm not going to get into all that. Long story, folks. Anyway, now back to the list. 2001, Destruction, the Antichrist. See, there's a lot of albums I have never heard of. 2002 is Ghoul. We Came for the Dead. Okay, Overkill I have heard. This is the next one. 2003, Overkill, Kill Box 13. I have heard songs off of that album. Very good album. Very awesome stuff. I've only heard a few songs off of it, but it's really awesome. This one is like one of my favorites, and I definitely have heard several albums off of this one. The 2004 is called Exodus's Tempo of the Damned. I believe that is the one that has, let me see, what is it? About adding you to his blacklist, I believe. Yeah. I think Shrouded of Urine, Sealed with a Fist, Scar-Bangled Banner. That's kind of interesting to songs. We'll have to check those out too. Anyway, moving on. 2005, Municipal Waste, Hazardous Mutation. This one kind of actually, you know what the characters look like? Kind of like little minion guys in the front of it with a big dump truck with, I would assume, dead bodies in the back, it looks like, because it's multiple municipal waste, hazardous mutations, I guess. Who knows? Sodom, 2006. They got some really good stuff. I don't know when they started. That would be kind of cool. Yes, I know. That is one thing we need to cover, I think, too. I really believe you're right on that. You know it because because you do know it, right? Really, I think a lot of artists, our covers are really unique and different. Some of them, you know, are different. You know, I'm not sure if I like all of them, but this one kind of reminds me of Garbage Pail Kids because of the kind of like toxic waste look to it. Basically, it's called 2000. Well, it's 2007 municipal waste, the art of party. You know what you could do at a concert. Partying. There you go. Partying. I can't even say it right. Anyway, I'm tongue tied. What can I say? The next one. Whoa. I'm zooming in and zooming out. I don't know why. What the heck? Okay, I'm going to have to scroll from the right here, I guess. I must have hit something on my mouse. 2008 is Bonded by Blood. Feed the Beast. See, there's another one. Didn't know anything about. I don't know. Have you know it? Are any of these familiar albums to you, or do you not know any of the artists on this? Because I am definitely not familiar with any of those. Why is this doing this? Okay, my headset's going crazy on me too. Okay, now we're going to go 2009. Vector, Black Future. See, there's another one I did not know about, which is kind of interesting. I like the cover art. It's really cool because it's got their logo on the top, and it looks like it's a brain with like it's upside down with a stem going from the the nerve endings from your spine going up, but it looks like it's a face going like this, and then there's a brain below it. It's kind of reverse. That's what it reminds me of. Then there's like a cityscape beside it. It's all black and white. It's really cool. It's kind of reminds me of some pointillism drawings that I've done before. It's really cool. I love the artwork on that. Um, let's see here. Overkill is 2010 Ironbound. That's a really cool cover too. It's got a skull, like it's kind of like a gargoyle thing with a flames below. It's really cool. And apparently Anthrax came out in 2011, Worship the Music, which I don't know if that's any good or not. I've never heard that one either. I've heard some of their other stuff, the earlier ones, but I'm not like well versed in that one either. Oh, okay. Well, then you gotta check them all out, right? I'll have to put the playlist out there for everybody. I'll try to make sure I get that up here before too long. It takes a while for the video to process on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why. So it usually takes a little while to add that. So just kind of check back later on. 2012 Overkill, the Electric Age. I think I have heard a few of the songs off of this album because I do remember seeing this cover before, I believe. Which actually, I think, yeah, I thought Overkill was a lot older. Maybe it is, but they put out some really good new albums at the time. So that's probably the reason why they've made the list so many times, probably. 2014 is X's Blood In, Blood Out. I might have heard some of the songs off this album, but I'm not certain. I don't remember. I think I remember the cover because it has like a zombie kind of apocalypse looking kind of thing where there's a bunch of people that are like this kind of stuff. Like they're, I don't know, they're all kind of like, walking around like zombies, I guess is what it looks like to me from what I can see the cover. Because I got it over here on my one screen. We have Dead Hammer Evil Power is 2015. Now that one I've never heard of either, and I'm sure that you know it. Probably doesn't know that one either, I would assume. 2016 Anthrax For All Kings came out, and apparently that's the year that it was. Well, of course, it came out. It was like one of the best, I guess, one of their best albums that had come out recently. I didn't know. I've heard about this one, but I have never. I think I heard one song off of it. That reminds me of something. I'm not going to get into any of that, but it definitely reminds me of something that had happened around 2016. 2017 is Power Trip Nightmare Logic, which is kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that one. Oh, 2018 Soulfly Ritual. I have definitely heard songs off of this album, and it is really good. I have loved Soulfly. There is one particular song, and I don't recall the name, but it is really good because I remember the cover. I remember the artist because he's got a bow and arrow up in the sky and stuff, and there's all this. It looks like, I don't know if it's blood or what it is, but it's really cool. It's really awesome look to it, and it kind of has kind of this dramatic, kind of reminds you of like the Greek gods and the not last dinner, but what do they call that? Adam versus God, where they're touching the fingers and stuff like that. That's what it has that same feel to it. Overkill, The Wings of War, 2019. I totally agree with this one. 2020, Sepultura's Quadra. Oh, badass album. Every single song on there, I'm a huge fan of Sepultura, so I'm sorry if anybody disagrees with me. Well, guess what? You're wrong. No, just kidding. I'm sure there's a lot of other good albums in 2020, but I think Quadra is one of the best, not the best of Sepultura's songs, but one of the best songs or albums of Sepultura's career, especially Agony of Defeat and what's the other one called? it's about the Earth, Guardians of the Earth, and there's another one. I can't think of the name of the song, but they're all really good songs. Actually, the whole album really is good. I mean, it's just it's iconic. It's like one of those things that they have instruments that are just wonderful. It kind of has some kind of theatrical add-ons that make it so much awesome, right? Oh, you got to check out their stuff. They're really good. I don't know much about the band, but I definitely love the music. I mean, I've heard a few different songs here and there, and it's starting to grow on me, like Jetsam and Flossom and Celtic Frost and a bunch of other ones out there. They're really phenomenal, really awesome bands. Well, every band has their own niche and their own persona of the band themselves, right? Which I think is really awesome. I think it's really cool. I must be past somebody's bedtime. I don't know, because I got on here real early last night. I bet you anything somebody might be asleep probably, because she isn't here. Yes, I'm talking about somebody in particular that was on my first, and at least you know it. This was my second, I think. This was my second live stream viewer, I believe. On here. So yeah, I was kind of thinking that she might pop up, but maybe she's not. Maybe she's kind of bed, or maybe she forgot. Who knows? She forgot me. Anyway, 2021 Exodus is persona non grande. I think that it's hard to read from over here. My type's really, really small. Okay, now this one is pretty obvious. And we all know this one is 2022. And I'm sure if you guys are a fan of the band and you know their songs and they're really well known, and and I think they've had one other song out of the whole entire list of the best songs for that year of thrash metal bands is Megadeth, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. So now, which one's going to be what's going to be the best thrash album for 2023? I don't think they're going to put that in here, because I don't think this was, I think this list was out early on in the year, probably at the end of 2022, possibly, I would assume. It does. Yes, you're right, definitely. So I'll just have to wait. I have to be patient. But I did get new viewers. I've got new subscribers, 130. That reminds me, and I think I need to start this at the very beginning of my broadcast, and I've been playing around with this. I'm not going to guarantee anything to anybody out there. Okay, so this is not a solid guarantee to anybody. I'm thinking if I get a certain amount, and I get maybe a certain amount of monetization back, I'm thinking about taking some of the first couple funds to maybe do a contest. But I'm not sure, one, how much I'm going to get, two, from it, and two, I'm not sure how I'm going to go about it, because I want to be fair to everybody. I would have to do I think there is a means where you can get YouTube subscribers a list of, and then what it does, it puts it into like a random name picker, right? So if that's the case, if I can figure that out, which I'm learning this stuff, unfortunately, I'm kind of new to the whole YouTube channel and everything else stuff. And they always say, as long as you kind of improve each time you broadcast, you'll get better, and you'll have more viewers that way. And then eventually I will have real musical artists on here. I'm planning on that. I guarantee I will do my best to say, whatever it takes. It may not be the biggest bands, but it will definitely be somebody from a band, I'm sure. Even if I have to crawl, beg, and plead with some artists, because I want to get to know them. And I think they might agree with me. A lot of what I'm trying to say with that whole idea, and a lot of people actually seem to think, hey, that is a kind of a cool idea, because I've kind of told people about it. I told them what I'm planning on doing. They say, heck, that sounds really cool. I think that'd be cool, because we can talk about the band, we can talk about the albums, we can talk about the music a little bit at the beginning, and say, okay, now let's talk about you, because the voices of metal or the voice that I'm talking to in metal. So really it's not my voice per se. It's the voice of the people in the music industry, the people in the bands, and even the people who might set up the stuff for the sets, like the sound person. And also, I know the sound of Lisa. She is one of the sound people that's been in quite a few different bands as she set up the actual sound boards and everything else. I don't know. She's a sound tech. I know that. And that'd be kind of cool. And I follow her on Instagram. I found her through other artists that were out there and were talking about some of her work. So that's the kind of thing that I would love to have on here. And hopefully I get to talk to each individual artist and not just the band. I want to get to know, or people to get to know, like say Dave Mustaine or James Hetfield, hopefully, maybe Randy from Lamb of God, or even Randy, the bass player for Stitched Up Heart. Those are the people I definitely know very well. I don't know everybody's name, unfortunately. So I'll have to review that, know their name, and say, okay, this is so-and-so from this band. Or I might just let them do the introduction themselves, because I think that would be even better. So, hi, I'm so-and-so for the band, blah, blah, blah. I play bass guitarist. Or I'm the drummer. You know, I think that'd be cool. That way I can make sure I don't pronounce her name wrong and butcher it, right? I think that would be awesome. Anyway, now I lost another person. Oh, well. Oh, do you remember that? Oh, there you go. Demo tape trading. Yep. That's crazy. Yeah. Were they, is it like, are you talking about the reel to reel, or are you talking about demo tapes like as in like cassettes? I think that a lot of them are doing cassettes, because that was like way, way, way back there on the other one. That was before even my time, I think, on that. Oh, there's an Ultimate Groove Metal playlist. I might have to check that out later on. It's on Loudwire, but I think that's through Spotify. Yeah. So I might have to check that out, because it's a Spotify playlist, which is kind of cool that you can actually incorporate. See, that's the one thing YouTube Music does not have. I don't know if you can embed your playlists into your website. So what I'll do is after the broadcast, I will try to add all these songs onto a playlist, and I'll put it right at the very, the little clicky thing on the top right-hand corner. Yeah, I'll do that. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. I was kind of hoping and holding out for certain individuals. She's not here. My first. And then my second's here. So that's cool. So I appreciate both of you guys. Well, she usually comes all the time. It's probably late for her. It's like, it's almost if she's on the East Coast, it's probably like 1 in the morning there, I think. If she, she is, I think. Yep. Yeah, the demo tapes. You're talking about cassettes. Yeah, demo tapes. See, I'm thinking mixtapes too, because I used to do that. I used to record off the radio and listen to the music, and then I could play, I would have to listen for the next song that I wanted to record, that kind of stuff. That was pretty awesome. So I will keep this up so that way I have that, because it's rather interesting. It'd be kind of cool if I could put a year next to the album, but I don't think I can on the playlist. So we'll just I'll just try to put them in order from the year, from the beginning all the way up until 2020. Yeah, 22. So there's a long list. That's a long list. That's every year of the best thrash albums since 1993. Did I say? God, I can't remember that. That's pretty bad. 93, yeah. No, 83, sorry. 83. I was thinking the prom stuff. That was 82, though. All right. Thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for subscribing. Hopefully things will start growing even more. And then we'll have, hopefully, what I intended to do with this channel in the first place is to have real live musicians to talk to personally, so that way we can all get to know them and ask maybe some. See, that's why I'm still debating about what kind of question to ask. I think I want to ask each person a general question that I ask everybody, maybe an audience question, maybe one or two, and then maybe just a random one that comes up based on what's going on right now. What do you think of this? As long as it's not too controversial, we're not going to get into that stuff, political stuff, but all the other stuff. All right, you know it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your constant, I say, persistence of being on the Voice of Metal. I appreciate it. That means a lot to me. And hopefully there will be others like you that want to check it out. I've had 13 views since I've been on here, but they've been on and off. So I don't even know if they're the same people. Who knows? I wish I could tell. I'm sure there is a way of finding out, but you never know. All right. Thank you for watching. Yes, later, dude. Maybe I will see you out there in the fields of the concert arenas or something. Who knows? I definitely will be out of town in August. I probably will not have an episode then, but I will definitely be on after talking about it because it's very important. Who knows? Somebody might be at a concert right now tonight because that's when usually a lot of well, they're even through the weekday too, so they're not just for the weekends. But yep, take care. Thank you. Hit like, subscribe, and headbang those buttons right now. Right? Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll get that right sooner or later. Don't worry. Take care. Have a good night and peace out. And don't forget to, what we're talking about, headbang the heck out of your music, right? Take care. Have a good night.